Hello, friends! So I'm back, trying to get into the groove of making videos every once in a while. Today, I felt like, as a change from things that make me feel awful, I'm going to read the internet story that makes me more happy than anything else in the world. I love this website. It's the worst website. It's extremely dumb. I love it. I love everything about it. So I wanted to bring it out for a change of pace. This is Uli's Roy Orbison in Clingfilm website. That is exactly what it says on the tin. It is a website about Roy Orbison, the musician from like the 60s and 70s, being wrapped up in clingfilm. Let's get into this. Let's get into this sucker. Oh, but this website is extremely Web 1.0, so instead of just leaving it on a blank screen, I decided to make some visual aids to liven up this reading a little bit. Yeah, I'm so cool. I'm as cool as Roy Orbison. Oh, and then we have this turtle looking down on us, about to stomp us into the ground like Godzilla. You'll see why. You'll see why in a bit. Hello, and welcome to my homepage. My name is Ulrich Harburst, and I like to write stories about Roy Orbison being wrapped up in clingfilm. If you have written any stories about Roy being completely wrapped in clingfilm, please send them to me, and I may put them up on the site. If you have a site with stories about other pop stars being wrapped in clingfilm, mail me and we can exchange links. A joyous new development. Joyous new development? What could it be? What could it be? I have published a Roy in clingfilm novel? Click here to find out more. Astounding news, I have published a book. My tome can be purchased online here. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, it's like... it's pages and pages and pages. I'm trying to find where exactly this book is. So, YPD Books. Oh, this product is no longer available. Oh no. I'm so sad. This is an actual physical bookshelf that someone has this novel on. Get into Roy Orbison in clingfilm. That is most cool indeed. I don't know if you can see on the picture, but the book itself is wrapped in clingfilm, and they've been wrapping copies in clingfilm for customers. Holy shit. Let's start with Roy in clingfilm story number 1. It always starts the same way. I am in the garden airing my terrapin Jetta when he walks past my gate, that mysterious man in black. Hello, Roy, I say. What are you doing in Dusseldorf? Attending to certain matters, he replies. Ah, I say. He apprises Jetta's lines with a keen eye. This is a well-groomed terrapin, he says. Her name is Jetta, I say. Perhaps you would like to come inside. Very well, he says. Roy Orbison walks inside my house and sits down on my couch. We talk urbanely of various issues of the day. Presently, I say, perhaps you would like to see my clingfilm. By all means. I cannot see his eyes through his trademark dark glasses, and I have no idea if he is merely being polite or if he genuinely has an interest in clingfilm. I bring it from the kitchen, all the rolls of it. I have a surprising amount of clingfilm, I say with a nervous laugh. Roy merely nods. I estimate I must have nearly 1 kilometer in the kitchen alone. As much as that? He says in surprise. So. A very surprised so. Mind you, people do not realize how much is on each roll. I bet that with a single roll alone, I could wrap you up entirely. Oh man, oh man, oh man, here it comes, here it goes, it's gonna start now. Roy Orbison sits impassively like a monochrome Buddha. My palms are sweaty, mom's spaghetti. I will take that bet, says Roy. If you succeed, I will give you tickets to my new concert. If you fail, I will take Jetta as a lesson to you not to speak boastfully. Oh my gosh, that seems like a really risky bet. Ulrich, Are you sure you're gonna take that bet? I nod. So then, if you will please to stand. Roy stands. Commence. I start at the ankles and work up. I am like a spider binding him in my gossamer web. I do it tight, with several layers. Soon Roy Orbison stands before me, completely wrapped in cling film. The pleasure is unexampled. You are completely wrapped in cling film, I say. You win the bet, says Roy, muffled. Now unwrap me. Not for several hours. Ah. I'm pretending to be Roy Orbison in this guy's house, wrapped in cling film, unable to speak, just standing there for hours. I sit and admire my handiwork for a long time. So as not to make the ordeal unpleasant for him, we make small talk on topical subjects. Roy somewhat muffled. At some point, I must leave him to attend to Jetta's needs. When I return, I find he has hopped out of my house, still wrapped in cling film. The loss leaves me broken and pitiful. He never calls me. He sends no tickets. The police come and reprimand me. I thought Roy Orbison was into this. He seemed kind of into it. The fact that he was just standing there and taking it. He seemed kind of into it. But he wasn't. He was mad about it. So mad that he called the police. Jetta is taken away, although I get her back after a complicated legal process. There is only one thing that can console me. A certain dream, a certain vision. It always starts the same way. Copyright Ulrich Harburst. Roy in Cling Film Story 2. In this fantasy, I am driving along the Autobahn between Köln and Aachen. That's how you say German words, right? You have to sound like you're like getting a loogie, like kind of clearing your throat. Aachen. Aachen. A large Winnebago has pulled to the side of the road ahead. An anxious-looking man flags me down. This could be trouble, I say to Jetta. It is certainly irregular. Jetta says nothing, because she is a turtle. Little do I know what is in store. Can you help me? Says the man. I am Roy Orbison's tour manager. Also, I say in polite surprise. Also what? I have already read the legend Roy Orbison tour bus on the side of the vehicle. I get out of the car. What seems to be the problem? He leads me to the back of the van. Roy has succumbed to a heart attack and is clinically dead? I genuinely did not expect that. I've read these stories a lot of times. But it's been, I don't know, probably about a year or 2 years since the last time I read them. So I forgot that Roy dies in one of these. Roy dies in this story. He explains, indicating a certain well-known man in black sprawled on the floor of the vehicle. So, I say, are you perchance a doctor? This man is not a doctor. I would not trust this man with anything, much less medical devices. No, I studied at a catering college for some years, but was forced to leave for reasons I prefer not to disclose. Okay, Ulrich. Ooh, we don't have time to unpack any of that. Then I am at a loss what to do. What? So if he had finished catering college, would that have made a difference? Would he have catered Roy Orbison back to life? Made some catering that was so delicious that Roy Orbison just rose from the grave. There is one thing we might try, I say, with elaborate nonchalance. Elaborate nonchalance. Elaborate nonchalance. If we were to wrap him in cling film, this would prevent corruption setting in until we can get him to a hospital? I'm sorry? How do you think decay works? It is certainly worth a try, but I have no cling film. Fortunately, I have several rolls in the car. Of course you do. Of course he does. I go to the car and retrieve it. The tour manager looks anxiously over my shoulder. As I set to work, I must work undisturbed, I tell him. He nods and gives me privacy. Now it is just me and Roy Orbison and the cling film. Uh-oh, I think that this might get a little spicy, you guys. If you're underage, you might want to turn off this video. You might want to leave. I mean, don't turn off the video because my analytics aren't very good, and I would really appreciate it if you watched it to the end. But, like, maybe mute the tab. I start from the ankles and work up to the trademark dark glasses, wrapping slowly and carefully. Soon Roy Orbison is completely wrapped in cling film. So Roy Orbison is a dead body at this point, right? So he's just completely limp. And how difficult would it be for this guy to wrap him in cling film? He would have to, like, turn him over and over and over and over and over again to get this cling film around him. He is like a big black beetle wrapped in a silvery cocoon. The satisfaction is unparalleled by anything in my previous existence. Even that last time you wrapped Roy Orbison in cling film? Wow. He is completely wrapped in cling film, I call to the manager. I will accompany him as you drive to the hospital. 4 hours later, Roy Orbison sits up in bed in hospital and smiles at me. I hear I owe you my life, he says. Please accept these concert tickets. I bow politely. There is something you perhaps should know. While you were in a coma, I was forced to wrap you entirely in cling film. Quick thinking, says Roy. You did not mind? Roy's expression is unreadable. I wasn't aware of it, but was there the slightest twinkle behind those dark glasses? Of course, I reflect as I return to the patient Jetta. There can be no question of him enjoying it, for he was dead at the time. Or was he? Or was he? Was Roy Orbison pretending to be dead so that he could get wrapped in cling film? Roy in cling film story number 3. It begins innocently enough in the pet shop. I am seeking worms for Jetta. Hello there, says a vaulting tenor voice behind me. We meet again. I turn and take in the black clothes and trademark dark glasses. I bow and smile. Mr. Roy Orbison, I presume. What brings you to our little emporium? I was passing through town on my way to a Rockstar conference. It's Rockstar Con. They didn't cancel it for 2020. I was passing through town on my way to a Rockstar conference in Essen when I decided to get some deworming powder for my dog. Ah, how ironic. Your dog has worms and my Jetta eats worms. I decide to risk a little joke. Perhaps we should bring the two of them together. But Roy does not laugh. Neither do I. The eyes behind the dark shades express no mirth. No mirth at all. What? What are you saying? Are you saying your terrapin should eat worms out of my dog's ass? He snarls. Uh-oh. How are you going to turn this around, Ulrich? It is all going wrong. My palms sweat. I wish to die. I try to wake up. I blush and mumble apologies. Fortunately, just then, a distraction arrives. 2 criminals burst in, waving shotguns. This is a robbery, they yell. You two are hostages. Make them tie each other up, says the lead robber. Ah, I have forgotten the rope, says his cohort. I happen to have a roll of cling film with me, I offer diffidently. Perhaps that would serve. Why are you helping the burglars? Why are you helping the What? Why am I asking? He's helping the burglars because he can put 2 and 2 together in his head, and he knows that someone is going to get wrapped in cling film. And that someone will probably be Roy Orbison. It will have to. Wrap that man in black in cling film at once, or it will go badly with you. Very well. Trembling, I take out the cling film. I am sorry, Roy. It looks like I have no choice. Do what you have to. I start at the feet and work my way up. I wrap him as tenderly as a mother swaddling an infant. I marvel at the play of light on the miraculous translucence. Soon, Roy Orbison is entirely wrapped in cling film. I thank God that I was born to live this minute. He is completely wrapped up in cling film, I report. Good, says the bandit. Now I want you to wrap the cling film around the two of you so that you are wrapped up with him. My mouth dry, I stand pressed against Roy, who is wrapped completely in cling film, just in case you forgot about him being wrapped completely in cling film. Awkwardly, I pass the film around both of our waists several times until we are bound together by the miracle substance. My synapses overload with joy. We are both wrapped in cling film, I tell the robbers. I am not completely wrapped, however, but there is more cling film in my briefcase if you would care to finish the job. No, that will do. It certainly will. It is an hour or more before the police come to release us. Were there no other people in this store? Was it just these two? Well, I say to Roy Orbison, it was nice to meet you again. I'm not a philosophical man, says Roy thoughtfully, but it seems like we are bound together in some way. Yes, by cling film, I say. This time Roy does laugh. So Roy Orbison likes dad jokes. This time I am at the health spa having my cuticles attended to and procuring a pedicure for Jetta. Do they normally give turtles pedicures? Okay. Also, says the garrulous beautician as she works, you will never guess. We are favored by a visit from celebrity today. Unglaublich, I say without much interest. Some dreary town councillor rising star of the banking industry, no doubt. I say with a wink at Jetta, my turtle, who is just sitting in a mani-pedi chair. No, says the busybody as she plies her trade. This is a big American rock star who wears iconic black clothing and trademark dark glasses. His name is Roy Orbison? Rasmussen? Something of that nature. It takes a second or two for the penny to drop. Why would it take a second? You're obsessed with this man. Black clothes and dark glasses, you say? I implore you to think carefully. Could the man's name conceivably be Roy Orbison? This is a matter of extreme urgency to me. Extremely urgent. Yes, that was it exactly. Fancy, he is in the next room waiting for me to give him a seaweed wrap. Oh, I know where this is going already. I rise from the chair. I find I have to go out for a moment. You will please remain here and attend to Jetta. I have decided you will give her a shell wax. I will be locking the door after I leave to ensure your compliance. So. So he just locks this woman into the room. Okay, so he can go assault Roy Orbison. Okay, weirdo. I adjourn smartly to the next cubicle. Roy Orbison is lying on a massage table, naked save for a strategically placed towel. Some soothing unguent has been applied to his face, and slices of cucumber have been placed over his trademark dark glasses. Good day, I say. Are you relaxed? Hey, aren't you that fucking guy who keeps wrapping me in cling film, says Roy. No, he doesn't say that. I am highly relaxed, but expect to be more so following my seaweed wrap, says Roy. Regrettably, I find we have run out of seaweed following a maritime disaster in which various contaminants were released, destroying the world's supply of sargasso for generations to come, I say smoothly. Instead, I urge you to try our new cling film wrap. The health-giving properties of this miracle substance cannot be overstated. Cling film? Roy cannot see me, but tries to peer round the cucumber slices, occluding his glasses. Don't I know your voice? I am an eminent doctor, and am to be trusted implicitly. Ah, says Roy, then you may commence. Because I guess Roy is too stupid to live. Speaking as a doctor, that is a wise decision. Oh, here it goes, guys. Here it comes. Oh, it's about to be that part. I start from the feet and work my way up. It is strange for him to be naked as I wrap him, but I suppose it would be too suspicious were I to ask him to put his trademark black clothes back on. I am like an Egyptian priest enshrouding his pharaoh. Soon Roy Orbison is wrapped up in cling film. I let out a soft mew of content and mutely acknowledge that all things work for the best in this world. You are completely wrapped in cling film, I tell him. To get the full benefit, you must remain so for several hours or until someone comes and finds us. To keep you company, I will stay in the room and breathe heavily. That is kind of you. There follows several hours of almost unbearable bliss. Presently, a masseuse comes and looks at us quizzically. We are closing now. Have you seen Frida? Yes, I locked her in the room next door. Ah. Why is that man in clingfilm? Medical reasons. So, I permit the woman to unwrap Roy, as it is not in my nature to do so. You know, I say, if you were to remain wrapped in clingfilm forever, I estimate it would extend your lifespan by 1,000 years. I will bear that in mind, says Roy. And it wouldn't do my health any harm either, I almost add. Where does reality end and dream begin? Who can tell? I sit before the television set, absorbing the evening news with my terrapin Jetta. Also, says the news announcer, tomorrow the famous conceptual artist Christo will visit Dusseldorf to wrap our statue of Prince Jan Wellem in a white sheet. How that man has wasted his life, I say, to be obsessed with wrapping things in white sheets. What could be more pitiful? Oh, you're a bit of a pot calling the kettle black there, aren't you, Ulrich? Jetta blinks slowly in agreement. The announcer continues. The famous rock star, Mr. Roy Orbison, that well-known man in black, will preside over the installation of the new artwork. And yet, I say musingly, who are we to judge? For which of us does not have his own private dreams he would like to act out? Even you, Jetta, in your secret terrapin heart may harbor dreams of wrapping certain things in other things. I believe I will attend Herr Christo's performance, after all. Jetta merely blinks again. Is there a hint of warning there? Comes the morning, and various civic dignitaries and an interested crowd are gathered in the town square. Roy Orbison, laconic behind his trademark dark glasses, waits to unveil the statue of Jan Willem, so that Christo can unveil it again. I am at the forefront of the crowd with Jetta nestling in my coat, and we have had a busy night. Little does anyone suspect what is about to befall. Uh-oh. Oh shit, is this guy about to, commit a crime or something? I mean, this has all been crimes. All of this has been crimes. The crowd grows impatient for the time, for the installation has passed some minutes since. Murmurs of discontent at the inefficiency are heard, and the hoi polloi look pointedly at their watches. I must speak to the mayor, says a breathless flunky. He may do so, says the mayor. Let him approach me. I have to report that the conceptual artist known as Christo cannot be found. He has not been seen since the early hours of the morning when a man claiming to be delivering a terrapin visited his hotel room. Also, the mayor is disconcerted. He eyes the unruly mob who are shuffling their feet and muttering slogans such as, "Time waits for no man." I cough diffidently and step forward. Perhaps I may be allowed to take Christo's place. I have some small experience with wrapping things. Capital, says the mayor. Do so. Because that's how it works. If an artist disappears, they just let any other asshole who wants to take their place during their shows. Yeah, that's how it works. But, says the flunky, the artist's large white sheets cannot be found either. Ah, says the mayor. This is a catalogue of errors. I cough again. If you permit a suggestion. For sundry reasons, I happen to have several rolls of clingfilm on my person. Perhaps they might suffice. Clingfilm is anyway a more appropriate material for a dynamic and modern city to wrap a statue in. Is it not so? You are a prudent and resourceful fellow. You will commence. The mayor takes the microphone. I am pleased to announce that in place of the scheduled event, Ulrich Harburst, a local man of commendable diligence, will now wrap our statue of Jan Wellem in clingfilm, a miracle substance befitting our dynamic city. Mr. Roy Orbison will now unveil the statue. Roy starts to pull at a rope and then stops. I think you should come see this, Mayor, he says grimly. Uh-oh, is the statue going to be missing? Is the statue gone? Oh my god. The dignitaries look behind the curtains and find that during the night the statue of Jan Wellem has been painted with various slogans denouncing the mayor. I whistle nonchalantly and pick a piece of lint off Jetta. Unglaublich. 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 Unglaublich, says the mayor. This is a public relations disaster waiting to happen. The statue cannot be shown in such a condition. But the crowd, says the aide. If nothing is to be wrapped today, they will tear us limb from limb. Then logically some substitute will have to be wrapped, but I cannot think what. If I might make a suggestion, I offer, it strikes me that we do not just have one landmark here today, but also another. A pop cultural landmark. I bow to Roy. That is so. You will wrap Roy Orbison in clingfilm at once. If Roy does not object. I do not object, says Roy. Begin. Oh, Roy. Oh, Roy. You can just admit that you're into it, you know? Like, it's 2021. Nobody kink shames anymore. Well, they kink shame some things, but I'm pretty sure being wrapped up in cling film isn't that bad of a kink. Like, at least it's not like the really sick shit. I've seen some things, man. The mayor explains to the crowd that this bold experiment will put us at the forefront of conceptual art. There are interested mutters. My mouth is dry as I take out my cling film and begin to wrap Roy Orbison in it. I wrap more carefully than ever before. Not merely personal gratification, but civic pride is at stake. The sunlight glints on the translucent triumph of science. The faint rasp as I unspool it sends delirious, brightly colored butterflies flocking through my stomach. I am like a tailor of the elves bedecking him in a shimmering suit of some magical material. Soon Roy Orbison stands before all of Dusseldorf, wrapped up in cling film. Silent white light floods my whole being, and I become one with the universe. Fellow burghers, I cry. Behold, Roy Orbison is completely wrapped in cling film. The crowd cheers ecstatically. It is a moment of extreme triumph. I know how Alexander and Napoleon must have felt. I have conquered all. The whole world kneels before me. It is my will alone that has wrought this. I, Ulrich Harburst, the King of Kings. I am one with the Godhead. Booming triumphant laughter wells up out of me and reverberates mightily about the square. Suddenly the artist Christo appears flanked by policemen and points at me. That is the man. That is the one who seized me roughly and locked me in a cupboard. That is also the man I found loitering in the square last night with a pot of paint, says a policeman. This is very bad for you, you scoundrel, says the mayor. Uh-oh, I say to Jetta. It is all going wrong. The crowd turns ugly. They storm the podium with various cries. Seize him! Disarrange his clothing! Take away his terrapin! Confiscate his cling film! Banish him to a distant province! I am manhandled roughly. I seek to explain myself, but they will not listen. Roy is knocked off the podium and rolls around helplessly in his silvery straitjacket. My palms sweat. I wish to wake up. I awake from my reverie and find myself back sitting in front of our television with Jetta. None of it happened after all, but I have perhaps learned a lesson. Yes, Jetta, perhaps you are right. One should be careful which dreams one seeks to make real. And I switch off the television and we make off to bed. But where does reality end and dream begin? Who can tell? Copyright Ulrich Harburst, 2003. Roy in cling film in space, 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 space. Hitherto I have kept my tales of Roy in cling film strictly within the realms of plausibility, but this scenario may be more fantastic than usual. Then again, who can say? In this fantasy, Roy Orbison and I are the pilots of a magnificent rocket ship powering through space. Adjust thrusters, Mr. Harburst, says Roy tersely, his calm, capable hands adjusting the controls, the stars reflected in his trademark dark glasses. At once, mein Kapitan! The precision-engineered BMW engines send us zooming through the stratosphere and push us back into our upholstered flight seats. Make your report, Lieutenant Jetta. The screen wire to the pod where Jetta nestles snugly flickers into life. We are leaving Earth's atmosphere and on course for space, says the readout. So, says Roy, capital. The age-old problem of how to navigate the vast distances of space had been solved when it was discovered that terrapins had a unique ability to encompass the manifold
complications of space and time. I and my terrapin Jetta immediately volunteered for an exploratory voyage. But who was to command this historic mission? The world was unanimous. There was only one man qualified to be mankind's ambassador to the stars. Roy Orbison, icon and enigma. Or as we must now call him, Captain Roy Orbison of the Space Pioneers. Suddenly, Jetta's translator flashes urgently. Look out! It is too late. There is a metallic clang and the ship rocks violently. Roy thumbs the communicator to Earth. Dusseldorf, we have a problem, he says. We have been struck by an asteroid, I report. One of the precision-engineered BMW engines has been knocked out of alignment. Unless it can be mended, we will die. Suit me up, says Roy. I'm going out there. Captain, I say nervously, you are not going to like this. I am afraid we forgot to bring spacesuits on this mission. They forgot to bring spacesuits on the mission, you guys. They forgot to bring spacesuits on the space mission. I don't know why that tickles me so much, but I love it. It's so stupid. Ah, says Roy. This is a grave disappointment. I clear my throat diffidently. There is one thing we might try. As you know, I had the foresight to bring many rolls of clingfilm with us for emergencies such as this. Oh, so you forgot the spacesuits, but you had plenty of room for clingfilm, huh? Oh, good old Ulrich. Good old Ulrich. He always knows where his priorities lie. I scoffed at the time, but now I perceive you are wise. You will wrap me in clingfilm at once. I retrieve some clingfilm from the clingfilm stowage compartment, where several hundred of the translucent rolls of joy glint softly in the cabin lights. Roy Orbison unbuckles from his seat and floats out into the middle of the cabin, his black clothing billowing about him in the zero gravity, like the folds of some black cloth manta ray. Commence, he says. As I set to work, I seem to hear the strains of Strauss's Blue Danube waltz in my head. As I orbit him weightless, it is as if we are performing some graceful ballet together. The clingfilm unfurls in languid arcs in the zero gravity and then girdles him gently as I spiral around him. Soon, Captain Roy Orbison of the Space Pioneers is completely wrapped in clingfilm. In all the infinite galaxies, there is not a man as happy as I. Tears of wordless joy leak from my ducts and float off like little jewels, crystallized moments of ecstasy, tiny universes of rapture, perfect unto themselves. Why is he so poetic about this? You're wrapping a man in clingfilm for fetish reasons, my dude. You are completely wrapped in clingfilm, Captain. Also, let us see about this engine, then. I tether him to me with a long umbilicus of clingfilm, and Roy floats out of the airlock into space, protected by his airtight cocoon. Quickly he makes the necessary adjustments, and we are saved. Emergency averted, says Roy on his return. Now, helmsman, take us to the stars. Aye, aye, Captain, I muse for a second. Captain, I say, the advanced civilizations we seek, what do you think they will be like? I do not know, says Roy, but one thing is for certain. They will know the value of clingfilm. And we laugh heartily and zoom off to infinity, side by side. But suddenly Jetta's screen comes to life again. Look out! Time warp! Everything goes strange. It feels as though my internal organs are sucked out through my ears. And then, I scoffed at the time, but now I perceive you are wise. You will wrap me in clingfilm at once. Roy unbuckles from his seat and floats out into the middle of the cabin. Commence, he says. We have gone back in time, and I will have to wrap Roy all over again. In space, no one can hear you squeak with pleasure. Gross. In this heartwarming seasonal tale, Roy is now my neighbor in Dusseldorf and often pops round to my house to borrow kitchen necessities. I wonder why he would ever do that, considering what a creep you are. But okay. It is Christmas Eve, and Roy has popped round to enjoy a warm glass of glue wine and help me affix tinsel to Jetta. He's decorating the turtle with tinsel. Ah, says Roy suddenly. I find I have forgotten to obtain a Christmas present for my mother, who is wintering at Baden. I sip My, my, my glühwein. My glue wine. Carefully, and remark, this will lead to familial tensions and unseasonal strife. It is so, says Roy. You know, I say thoughtfully, it strikes me that the best gift a son can give his mother is himself. What you say has a certain validity, yet how are we to dramatize this concept in such a way that my mother will not merely feel gypped out of a present? Perhaps if we were to wrap you in Christmas wrapping paper and convey you to Baden. Also, says Roy, rising, you will wrap me in Christmas wrapping paper and convey me to Baden at once. Regrettably, I find we have run out of wrapping paper and the shops have now closed. Oh no! What will they use? What could he possibly use here in this house that is full of cling film? Logically, some substitute will have to be found. Yes, that is logical, but I cannot think what. Roy looks around the room, seeking that in which he may be wrapped. My mouth is dry. I tickle Jetta's paws idly and say, you know, I believe I may have some cling film in the kitchen. Then the situation is saved. You will wrap me in cling film and have me stowed beneath my mother's Christmas tree. I bow my assent and make to the kitchen, but when I open the cupboard, I turn ashen and begin to quiver. For the cupboard is bare. The cling film has been used. All the rolls of it. Oh no! In alarm, I return to the living room and open the other cling film cupboards, but it is the same story. I check the cash in my bedroom wardrobe, and again there is none. I ransack the entire house from top to bottom. I look for the emergency rolls I keep hidden in the toilet cistern and inside lampshades. Everywhere there is the same horrible dearth of cling film. My palms sweat. I wish to die. Roy, I say, I find I was mistaken. Due to an oversight, I have no cling film in the house. I will not be able to wrap you in it. I am sorry. This has never happened before. Holy shit. This is amazing. Also, says Roy, perhaps some brown parcel paper. I would rather die than wrap you in brown parcel paper. I am broken and pitiful. And then it happens, the seasonal miracle. A cloud of soot billows from the fireplace, and he comes down my chimney. Jesus? That well-known man in red. Oh, it's the other guy, the other Christmas guy. Hello, Santa, I say. What are you doing in Dusseldorf? Attending to the distribution of presents, he says. Ah, I say. Ah. You have been good this year, he continues. You have been orderly and polite and have kept your shoes neatly arranged. I'm going to overlook all of the assaults where you wrapped men in cling film. That was really weird. But, you know, it was so weird that I don't really want to deal with it. I bow courteously. Good behavior is its own reward. Nevertheless, I intend to give you a present. May I inquire what? Santa Claus opens his sack, revealing dozens of silvery tubes. It is many rolls of cling film. Capital, says Roy. Now you may commence. Trembling with anticipation, I take a roll from Santa's sack. I start at the feet and work my way up. I work with the craft and dexterity of an expert shopkeeper wrapping a purchase. Soon, Roy Orbison is completely wrapped in cling film. I am filled with peace on earth and goodwill to all men. As a seasonal touch, I drape him with tinsel. He is completely wrapped in cling film. I say to Santa, Yay! He, ho, he, ho, ho. He, ho, he. Ho, says Santa, stroking his trademark white beard. So this is how it is. Is it that you'd like to wrap him as a present to the world? Who can plumb the mysteries of the human heart? Who indeed? I confess to being envious of him. In my long life I have wrapped many gifts, and yet, ironically, I have never been wrapped. Perhaps I might oblige? I have many rolls left. Commence, says Santa. I start from his boots and work my way up. It takes a good half a roll to encompass his jolly round belly alone. Soon Father Christmas is completely wrapped in cling film. It is not quite as good as wrapping Roy, but it is enjoyable nonetheless, and is certainly a feather in my cap. Both Father Christmas and Roy Orbison are completely wrapped in cling film, I say to Jetta. I place Santa next to Roy and stand in between them. With some difficulty, I wrap all three of us up together as best I can. A threesome of cling film. A throuple of cling film. We enjoy a quiet but satisfying Yuletide until people from the social services come to release us. God bless us, one and all. Copyright Ulrich Harburst, Christmas 2003. Dear God. Oh, Ulrich, you're amazing. Okay, I'm not going to get deep into this, but this is the Roy Orbison and cling film adventure game, and I just want you all to drink in this amazing Web 1.0 website. Holy shit, it's great. You are in a spooky cave. Lying on the floor, you can see a skull covered with cobwebs, and there are rats scurrying through the shadows, bent on who knows what acts of unhygiene. You shudder and clutch your terrapin to you for comfort. You review the poor life choices that led you to this unwholesome spot. On a walking holiday in the hinterlands, you foolishly walked off the designated walking path and struck out on your own. In a deep, scary forest, you saw the cave entrance, and in a moment of rash curiosity ventured in. Little did you suspect what was about to befall. Now in your dismal predicament, you deplore the neglect and slovenliness around you and prepare to leave. But just then, there comes the faint sound of singing drifting out of the depths of the cavern. It seems somehow familiar. Curiously, you venture in that direction, descending deeper and deeper into the bowels of the earth as sinister stalactites drip around you and evil bats wheel overhead and shriek like your ex-wife when you had suggested playing certain harmless dressing-up games with her. Now, we don't have time to unpack all of that. At the end of the tunnel, you come to a rotting oak door with rusty iron hinges. The handle is in the shape of a skull. From behind it, you hear a vaulting tenor voice singing forlornly. Also, now what can befall? That all depends on the choices that you alone can make. Do you? Knock politely and enter. Leave at once and go home. Let's see what's in my inventory. You are carrying many rolls of cling film. A terrapin. Let's knock politely and enter. You pass through, and the door slams shut behind you. You are in a draughty, stone-flagged room, dimly illuminated from a skylight high above. It contains a coil of rope lying in a corner, a rubber bathing ring in the shape of a green seahorse, a door marked private, and standing in rising water at the bottom of a 30-foot pit, Roy Orbison, the well-known pop maestro. Hello, Roy, you say. What are you doing in this spooky dungeon? That's a really good question. I have been kidnapped by goblins, he replies. So, you reply with polite interest, that is surely a vexation. It is, he says. The mischievous creatures have incarcerated me in this pit into which water is inexorably flowing. If I cannot get free, I will surely drown. It is so. A rusty pipe outlet is gushing remorselessly into the pit. Roy continues, I would reward the man who rescued me with free concert tickets and a handsome carriage clock engraved with a personal message of thanks. That is a prize worth daring much for. The common humanity and an interest in pop music alone dictates that I should help you. Then please do so with promptitude. The water is already lapping around my feet. My shoes are waterlogged and my black clothing will be ruined. What can you do in this predicament? Okay, so there's a rope here apparently. We should lower the rope to Roy and pull him out. That was a foolish choice. Without wishing to cast dispersions, you have the brains of a Bavarian goat tickler. If you manage your life as badly as you manage adventure games, you are probably the despair of your family. You lower the rope to Roy and attempt to pull him out. But as soon as the weight comes on the end of the rope, you overbalance and fall into the pit. You dash your brains out on the stove below. I have no sympathy for you. For this is Darwinism in action. Go back and try again, and this time be more diligent in your reasoning. So obviously the correct choice there is to wrap him in cling film. In this story, I am taking a weekend break at the Schatzberg Hotel in the remote mountains. It is expensive, but they will cater for my terrapin, and their towels are always neatly folded. And that's all that matters when you pick a hotel. This year, the bar lounge is crowded with a great number of furtive figures wearing hats made out of tinfoil. At first, I feared it is some outing of tinfoil fetishists, who frankly give me the creeps. Okay, you really have no room to be throwing rocks here in this extremely delicate glass house that you have built for yourself, Ulrich. Then I see one of them glare suspiciously at the waiter and demand to know what he is writing down in his notepad. I beckon the waiter over, and he confirms my surmise. It is the annual convention of the Paranoiac Society, he says with a roll of the eyes. Those weirdos, I say indulgently to my terrapin Jetta, stroking her on the nose and telling her not to stare at them. Now see, in 2003 when this was written, this would have been funny, so ridiculous that it was funny. But now we unironically have people thinking that the earth is flat. So, these people are real. They exist. They actually exist, and they do real things like this. They go to conventions like this, too. Without wishing to eavesdrop, I chanced to hear some of their muttered and whispered remarks. Only a fool thinks Norman Wisdom died of natural causes. The Queen of England killed him because he knew she was an alien. Princess Diana was killed because she was the bloodline descendant of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. This is why she had a benevolent disposition and a hot body. A man has invented self-polishing shoes, but the beeswax interests have suppressed them. Why is everyone whispering? Is it about me? Just then a familiar figure in black clothing and dark glasses appears next to me at the bar. Politely, I move Jetta off her stool so that he may sit. Hello, Roy, I say. What brings you to the Schatzberg Hotel? We of the rock star elite often patronize this establishment, he replies. Oh, my mind went to a dark place there. I was thinking oh, this must be where Jeffrey Epstein had all of his parties and stuff. And now I feel gross for making that joke. Its remoteness affords relief from paparazzi, and the neatness of its towels is legendary. So, while I am mulling over which conversational gambit to deploy next, there is a terrible commotion. The foil-hatted conspiracy theorists rise from their tables with a look of outrage, and point rudely at Roy Orbison. A man in black! He has come to spy on us. Seize him! Japan him roughly to look for alien implants. Make him confess the full extent of the conspiracy. Force him to hand over Tesla's perpetual motion machine and the suppressed final chapter of Edwin Drood. The paranoid mob advances on us menacingly. I attempt to remonstrate to them. To no avail. The waiter hurries us out, and we flee to the sanctuary of the hotel kitchen and barricade the doors against the maniacs. The waiter wrings his hands. This is worse than last year when we double-booked them with the Bilderberg group. What is to be done? Demands Roy. I warn you that geometric towels are not this place. This place will not long be the haunt of the hot monde of the what is that word? The hot monde. Hot monde. The hot monde. If you allow your guests to be torn limb from limb. The hapless waiter can only say that Roy is safe for the moment, and that a free basket of fruit will be given to him in amend for the outrage. Discreetly, I clear my throat. There is one thing we must try, I say. There is one thing we might try, I say. Name that thing, says Roy. Obviously, we must attempt to blend in with the paranoiacs. We must all don hats of tinfoil, too. Very well, says Roy. I make to a cupboard and extract a roll of tinfoil. Quickly, I fashion hats of tinfoil for the waiter, Jetta, and myself. Now you, Roy, but hold, I say, musing. Even with a tinfoil hat, your trademark black clothing and dark glasses would still excite suspicion. It is so, says Roy. Suggest another expedient. I stroke my chin, indicating that I am musing some more. Perhaps if I was to cover you from head to toe in tinfoil, you would then pass for an exceptionally thorough paranoiac. Not only would your clothing be hidden, but you would be the envy of the conference and the center of attention. In a good way. That would turn the tables with a vengeance, says Roy. Commence to cover me from head to toe in tinfoil at once. I strive not to vomit as I contemplate the ridiculous and horrible idea of Roy Orbison being wrapped in tinfoil. Oh, that horrible substance known as tinfoil. They are trying to break in, I cry, pointing at the doors. Roy and the waiter brace themselves against the barricaded portals. I see no one, says the waiter after a moment. My mistake, I say. Oh no, I add, I have bad news to report. They turn to look at me and at the burning roll of tinfoil I am holding. Regrettably, in the excitement, I slipped and fell against the gas cooker, turned it on, and set fire to the tinfoil, I say. As you can see, it is completely burned. All the roll of it. That's not how tinfoil works. The whole point of tinfoil is that it doesn't burn. That's how you make baked potatoes. You wrap them in tinfoil because it'll hold the heat in, and the tinfoil doesn't... I don't know why I'm trying to use logic here. I don't know. I don't know. Ach, says Roy. The fates conspire against us. Now I will be trepanned roughly and interrogated until I say my platonic friend Queen Elizabeth is an alien lizard. Let us not despair yet, Roy. Once more I stroke my chin musingly. Plainly, we will have to find some substitute for tinfoil to cover you in. Some other substance, perhaps, that is commonly found in the kitchen. I wonder... What do you wonder? Urges Roy. It occurs to me that clingfilm, for example, might answer our need, I say, nonchalantly flicking some lint off Jeddah. Why is this turtle so linty? It further occurs to me, now I think of it, that were I to wrap you in it to a depth of many, many layers, the nonchalance fails and I quiver somewhat. It would acquire a silvery sheen that might just pass for tinfoil at a distance. I bow to the inevitable, says Roy. The links of your logical chain cannot be snapped. Plainly, I must be wrapped in clingfilm to a depth of many, many layers immediately. Clearly. As you command, I say. I return to the cupboard. It is admirably well stocked with clingfilm, and fortunately I also happen to have a roll or three about my person in case there is not enough. Oh, here it goes, you guys! It's about to start, it's that part, it's the best part. I start from the ankles and work my way up. I work quickly but passionately. I must wrap each limb individually so that he is free to move, but do it to a depth of many, many layers until the accumulated clingfilm acquires a silvery sheen. He is like some black-clad mannequin being transmogrified into a state of silvery translucent apotheosis. Soon, Roy Orbison is completely wrapped in clingfilm, to a depth of many, many layers. My eyes become flying saucers and swivel like a lunatic's. I shake the waiter by the lapels. He is completely wrapped in clingfilm, I cry. Yes, he is completely wrapped in clingfilm. Roy makes a muffled noise that may be, now to mingle casually with the maniacs. Wait, hold on. We unbar the door and venture out into the hotel. We get as far as the lobby before we are spotted. The conspiracy theorists point and cry and surround us. Although Roy's black clothing can no longer be made out properly beneath his clingfilm carapace, the new disguise proves sadly inadequate. Look at that strange, silvery, translucent figure! An alien if ever I saw one! Seize him, dissect him roughly, make him return Glenn Miller! Fortunately, just then, there is a distraction as Roy's platonic friend, the Queen of England, walks through the door, doubtless also drawn here by the promise of cloistered privacy and impeccable towels. I point at her in desperation, and the mob of paranoids promptly divert their attention to her. The arch-conspirator! Seize her, prove she is an alien, take her crown and remove her face. Make her admit she killed Jimi Hendrix because she bore his love child. Force her to say where and when she was when the Hindenburg crashed. They start to lynch the hapless... Oh my gosh. They start to lynch the hapless monarch. That's an old woman. She was like 70 or something at this time. Wait. Oh, this one was made in 2011, so she was like 80-ish or something. And then there is a pitched battle with her security lackeys. In the confusion, I bundle Roy into a cupboard. 2 days later, cleaning staff find us and tell us the coast is clear. You saved my life, says Roy to me after they unwrap him. Here is a voucher that will entitle you to a $15 discount on my new LP. Oh, so he ran out of concert tickets and now he's just giving out discount coupons for LPs? That's a real big downgrade, you know? I bow my thanks. There is just one thing, says Roy thoughtfully. That accident with the tinfoil strikes me as very strange in retrospect. Roy, I say, do you think I wanted it to happen like that? For what possible reason? Perhaps someone else has become paranoid. The dark glasses regard me enigmatically. So those are all of the original Roy Orbison in clingfilm fanfictions that this man made. I'm pretty sure that this was a joke that someone made. Probably this guy, Michael Horatio Kelly. Probably some kind of bit poking fun at, like, fetishy, weird Germans on the internet. Because, you know, that's a subgenre of people that you run into on the internet. It's pretty obviously a joke, but it's a joke that I really, really love. I love these stories so much. They're so stupid. It's just so ridiculous. I just love everything about this. And I wish that there was more stuff like this on the internet. Whether it's a joke or sincere, it just feels so wholesomely silly. It's just such a step up from so many other weird fetishes on the internet. So I enjoy Ulrich Harburst. I enjoy his writing. I enjoy the good that he brought into this world by making this extremely Web 1.0 website. What do you guys think? What's your favorite weird thing that you found on the internet? Post a link in the comments. Get that algorithm bumping up my content, because I haven't made videos in like a couple of weeks, so I would like people to watch my videos. I like my videos and I want other people to watch them. I think it would be fun. But so yeah, if you liked this, if you want to see more of it, then, you know, subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, or not. You could just like bookmark me or something, or even if you don't really care for content like this, I really appreciate you watching this. So thank you. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna head out. Good night and goodbye.